constituency. Yes, sir. We will not allow any electoral activities in Warri Federal constituency. That is the simple truth. Because we will not allow a system that will disenfranchise us, marginalize us. We will not. We are not going to accept it. So, INEC, the ball is in your court. If you know what is good for you, implement the report. And if you fail to implement the report, we, the judges and robots of Warri Federal constituency, we are going to take the laws into our hands and react. We are going to take the laws into our hands and react. And it will be detrimental to the economic growth of this country. It will be detrimental to the peace and stability in the Niger Delta region. It will be detrimental. Now we forge the peace. We still know how to scatter them. So if you don't want to push us to that point where we have zero choice but to act, INEC, you must implement it. Implement the delineation report. We are not begging you for food. We are not begging you for anything. We are only asking you to do what is just. Is it too much to ask for justice in this country? INEC, is it now too much to ask for justice in this country? Must justice come at the expense of deaths? Must we scream aloud before justice will be served? What is happening in this country? What is happening in Nigeria? What is happening? What is happening in this country that people now feel comfortable disobeying the law, the order of the apex court of this country, the Supreme Court? How can a commission set up by the federal government, a commission that is under the instruction of this constitution of this country, be violating the same constitution, and the Supreme Court that has the responsibility of cautioning that commission is still there, not doing anything about it? INEC was established following the constitution of this country, and the Supreme Court is the highest legal place where every legal issue must end. The Supreme Court is the highest enforcer of the law, of the Constitution. So by the time the Supreme Court gives an order, that is the highest point, the final point any legal case can go in this country. That is the final point any legal case can get to in this country. So INEC, if there should be a total breakdown of law and order in Nigeria, no, it is your fault. And Mr. President and the office of the NSA, I want to send this message direct to you. The Northeast is boiling, and we know the security challenges that we're having in the Southeast, in the Northwest. We already know of the security challenges all around. The only place that is calm, the only place that is peaceful and stable is the South. Now, do not push us to engage in acts that will make this South unstable. Because by the time it does, Mr. President, this country will collapse under your watch. The only reason why Nigeria is still functioning, the only reason why Nigeria is still holding on, is because of the peaceful nature of the South. It's because of how we have organized ourselves. It is because we have allowed ourselves to be followers of the constitution of this country. It is because of us. That is why Nigeria is still working. If not, look at all other zones, all other areas in this country. They are all fighting one Boko Haram war or the other. Is either they are fighting ISWAP here, or they are fighting herdsmen, or they are fighting bandits, they are fighting terrorists all over the Northeast, North, South, and Northwest and Southeast. They are fighting all over the place. The only place that is calm is the South, and you want to joke with that place. You want to joke with this place. At this point, I do not even expect INEC or the presidency or anybody in the at the federal level to do anything that will destabilize the peace, the fragile peace in the Niger Delta region. Because by the time the peace in the Niger Delta region is destabilized, there will be massive chaos. Nigeria is yet to even put an end to the incessant killings of innocent people in the north. Nigeria is yet to curtail that situation. Now, what will befall the country if the South too should engage in any civil disobedience? Nigeria will just collapse. And this INEC's refusal to implement the Supreme Court order delineation is capable of doing that. It's capable. Now we have given you time, enough time, to do what we expect from you, INEC, to do what the Constitution has ordered you to do. But since you have deliberately ignored our call, ignored the order of the Supreme Court, ignored the Constitution of this country, we are going to take the laws into our hands and react. And we're telling you categorically that INEC, if you fail to implement the delineation reports, we are not going to allow any election or electoral activity in Warri Federal Constituency. It will not happen. It will not happen. Me, I have said my own before now. When you wanted to commence the continuous voters registration exercise in Warri Federal Constituency, I said it, that if I meet any INEC official in any part of Warri Federal Constituency, I was going to molest that official. Because that official would have been engaging in illegal duties. You cannot come to a constituency that has no political structure to conduct electoral activities on. You cannot come to that constituency to conduct any electoral activity. So if you are engaging in any electoral activity in the country and in the constituency, that is illegal. It is illegal. So I have said this before now. If I see any INEC official engaging in any electoral activity in within Warri Federal Constituency, I will mobilize my followers and will make sure we molest those officials, because what they are doing is illegal. Without the implementation of the Supreme Court order delineation report, nobody has the legal right to conduct any electoral activity in Warri Federal Constituency. So long as INEC has refused to implement the Supreme Court order delineation report, nobody, including INEC and the federal government, has the legal right to conduct any electoral activity in Warri Federal Constituency. Because you cannot conduct electoral activities in a constituency that does not have a functioning political structure. The Constitution of this country gives room for fair representation, and representation comes with a defined political structure. In other constituencies across Delta State and the country at large, there are always functioning political structures. Go to every constituency in Delta State and outside Delta State, you will meet a well-functioning political structure. It is that political structure that brings about representation. It is that structure that brings about representation. So by the time the structure collapses, by the time the structure is destroyed, there will be no representation. And in this case, INEC, the Supreme Court abolished the then existing 10-ward political structure in Warri Federal Constituency, which was the reason why the court ordered you to conduct a fresh delineation exercise in Warri Federal Constituency, and you did. So at this point, I have asked you this question before, and I'm going to ask you again, INEC. On what political structure do you intend to conduct the coming elections on? On what political structure? Is it on the dead and buried political structure that was abolished by the order of the Supreme Court, or the one that is contained in the delineation report that you have refused to implement? At least come out, let us know. And then come out, let us know. On what political structure do you intend to conduct the forthcoming elections on? On what structure? Is it on the failed term structure that the Supreme Court has already abolished? Or the one that is contained in the delineation report that you have refused to implement? Delta State, especially the governor of Delta State, I have said this before, and I'm going to send this message to you again. If there should be any breakdown of law and order in Warri Federal Constituency, hold INEC responsible. The Independent National Electoral Commission should be held responsible. Should there be any total breakdown of law and order in Warri Federal Constituency, hold INEC responsible. And personally, Mr. Governor, you have a role to play in this. You have a huge role to play in this whole thing. The delineation exercise was done in a constituency inside your state. That gives you the legal rights to interfere with it. And interference in this case is to prevail on INEC to follow the order of the court, to follow the constitution of this country, the law of this country. So, Mr. Governor, you cannot shy away from this whole thing. Just as we are blaming Mr. President for his inactions, for his silence, it's the same way we are even blaming you now. Somebody like me, I'm blaming you now, Mr. Governor, for your silence and your inaction in addressing this issue once and for all. If anything should happen in Warri Federal Constituency, not even your re-election will be at stake. If there should be a total breakdown of law and order in Warri Federal Constituency, Mr. Governor, you too know that you cannot have a successful administration. It will first affect your administration before it affects the country. You know. So for that reason, I expect that you act swiftly to address this issue, to prevail on INEC to implement the reports. We are not begging you to take side with the JOS. We are not begging you to take side with the robos. We are only asking you to stand on the side of justice. And the side of justice in this case is the implementation of the delineation report. Is that too much to ask from a governor? Your Excellency, is that too much for us to ask from you? As citizens in this state, is that too much? If we cannot ask for justice from you again and it's given, then what else do we ask from you? What else can we ask from you? If we cannot ask for justice, what else do you expect us to ask from you? We are not asking you to come and support us. As the #1 citizen in Delta State, we are only asking you to do what you are expected to do. The situation that is befalling Warri Federal Constituency is capable of catapulting Delta State into another major. You are joking with it. When Warri is unstable, the entire Delta State becomes unstable. That is a fact that everybody knows. The moment Warri becomes unsafe, insecure, unstable, the entire Delta State becomes insecure, unsafe, and unstable. And no administration can excel in such conditions. Not even your administration, Your Excellency. Not even your administration can excel. So this is the time for you to act. You saw an oath to defend the law and the constitution. This is the time. You cannot be the governor of the state and keep quiet when a commission that is being saddled with the responsibility of conducting a delineation exercise and then refusing to implement the report, and you fold your hands and watch. Organized or established by the federal government is about causing trouble in your state. You can't fold your hands and be looking at it. If INEC causes any trouble in Delta State, they are at Abuja. Their head office is at Abuja. Your own Asabadeye na leg go take waka go Asaba. To tell you that whatever problem that emanates from INEC's deliberate refusal to implement the Supreme Court order delineation report, you will be the one to feel the heat first before Abuja. You will be the one to feel the heat first. So, Mr. President and the governor of Delta State, you guys need to act. You need to act. We are not asking for too much. And I know that asking for justice in this country is becoming difficult. And if it's difficult, I don't know why we are still Nigerians. Because if Nigerians cannot ask for justice from the government, then what else do we ask from you? Is it now a crime that the people ask for justice? Is it now a crime that the people ask a commission that was established to defend their rights and their privileges? Is it a crime now for them to ask that commission to do what they are expected to do? Is it now a crime for us to call for justice? Is it a crime? So we cannot ask for justice again in this country. Anybody that asks for justice in this country, you just go after the person. Is that what you are saying? Then why are we a country? Why are we a country? Why do we have laws? Why do we have a constitution that is binding us as a people? If that constitution is not, why are we in this country then? If it is now a crime for the citizens to ask for justice from the government, why are we then a country? Why? Why? INEC, a word they say is enough for the wise. A word they say is enough for the wise. And Nigerians should take this, should hear this. Should there be any total breakdown of law and order in the Niger Delta region, INEC should be held responsible. Because what will happen in Warri Federal Constituency will be capable of catapulting the entire Niger Delta region. That is what will happen. If this issue is not addressed once and for all, what will happen in this constituency will overwhelm the entire region. And by that time, the government will know how serious we are. I have said this before. All these protests and the attack on the Jos and Robos led by the Shekiris, all this they are doing, their protests to Abuja and the rest, shutting down flow stations and the rest, all of these things they are doing, we can do them a million times over. We just chose to follow peace. We just chose to follow the legal process, to apply democracy, to apply diplomacy in our actions, not because we are coward or not because we are afraid of engaging in the same act the Shekiris are engaging in. Our civility should not be taken for granted. Our calmness, our peaceful nature should not be taken for granted. All these things the Shekiris are doing, the shutting down of flow stations, destruction of properties, killing of our people here and there, we can do them as well. As a matter of fact, with the Jos and Robos of Warri Federal Constituency, we can do them a million times more than the Shekiris. But we chose peace. We chose justice. We chose diplomacy over violence. We chose to follow. We chose to follow a legal process. Go through a legal process over violence. Not because we cannot engage in violence. Not because we don't have the willpower or we don't have the capacity to engage in violence. By the time we engage in violence, it will overwhelm the entire country. And I believe the federal government knows. By the time the